Hey everybody, what's up? Emily here. Just wanted to give you some positive, productive feedback about these portfolio websites that you recently submitted in week 3. So I have all of them pulled up in individual browser windows, and what I'm going to do is poke through them one by one and give you some pointed feedback on opportunities to evolve the site to its next best place. So the expectation here is that you take this feedback along with your growing understanding of your own need for this site and the opportunity and the tool that this site will become for you, and evolve this into its next best place, which means that by the time that you come to Portfolio 4, after a few months hiatus from Portfolio, that you're going to have a better, stronger, more complete version of this. You never know when opportunity will come a-knocking, and that you'll need to have a portfolio that shows what you can do. So we're going to start here with Cabria. So the puff that could, we've got a little bit of digital art back here, an introduction that says who you are and kind of what you do, and the ability to read more. Notice that this takes me to her about page, content creation, makeup artist. This is a lot of what we saw on the front page. I would recommend, if you're going to have an additional page, that it's say new information. So I think that, let's see, if we went back, we could see that much of it's the same, so just only new stuff here. Your resume is going to point to this PDF. I have a question about why include this as a PDF and an additional click to drill down instead of just adding it as text on the page here. It would be easier for perhaps your visitors just to read it, then go to another click and another step. I'm going to go back to the home page because I want to scroll here. And we see a little bit of your work. So what I like about this is that you kind of give a short description of what you do and then provide a few examples of this. So this is what I would say is featured work, right? Which is great because you let us know right off the bat what you're into and give us an example of what this looks like. Scrolling down, we have your mission statement. I'm always happy to, pardon me, I'm so sorry, sneezed. To see you guys include this. It's a great North Star by which to kind of continue to direct yourself in your work. Anytime that you have paragraph text or a statement, right, you want to left align that text, right? Meaning that this is center aligned, all of it here, which is a little bit harder to read. Also, this looks like it's a graphic. And in being a graphic, it means that I can't highlight this text, I can't copy and paste it, because essentially it's just a picture of words at this point. My encouragement is just to have this be text on the page, have it be left aligned here. Scrolling down, you have this image that's covering up the quote here. I'd like to maybe see this pulled off to the side so that both of them could be featured. Under See My Journey, I'm clicking on this, but the button itself doesn't go anywhere, so you'll want to take a look at that. Scrolling up, we already took a look at the About page, but if we go here to your work, we're going to see some of the photography that you've done, some of the graphic design and makeup. So this is all corresponding with what we saw on the home page, which is great. I'm going to click on this, and it's opening into a big light box effect, meaning I get this great version of it. But what you see here is just like a really obscure file name. And so with these content management systems like Wix or Weebly or Squarespace or WordPress, if you're loading up images into a gallery and you're not giving them a title or a description, it's going to default to the file name, which looks like this, which is a bit of nonsense, right? Like a visitor isn't going to have any need for that, and it's kind of just like gobbledygook, right? So give this a meaningful title, or at least just delete the stuff that looks like it's unnecessary at this point. But really beautiful work here. Looking over at your graphic design, I'm going to click on the same. And so it's going to pop up this fictitious logo, but it's so much more than a fictitious logo, right? Because you've created an ad here. And so while you've given it somewhat of a title, the logo is actually the very smallest thing here. And so my encouragement would be to actually say what this is. It is an ad for Freshly Farms, that you completed first this logo design, but then supporting collaboration collateral or advertising collateral to support the brand. So wrap a little bit more language and story around what you do so that you're not just focusing on, saying that this is all you did here, because really it was so much more than that, right? Scrolling down, let's take a look at how you're portraying your makeup. All of this is beautiful. And you've got, that it was a photo shoot here, but like maybe how about the name of the model or the name of the look or the brands that you used or your favorite eyeshadow or different things like that, which is great keyword content. This gives people more of an idea of the story around your work and around your artistry in that. I'm going to go here to blog. This is going to pull up another page that looks like it's just placeholder content, right? So that this is, maybe you have a vision for this. My encouragement for all of you is to not create pages with placeholder content. You can wait until you have your own stuff before putting this page out there and then having it reflect Wix content. Last but not least, just a simple contact form. Ways that we could get in touch, and then places on social media. But as I'm hovering over these, I can see that they are in fact linking out to Wix social media locations, right? So these aren't linked. And neither of these are here at the top. So anytime that you have a template, you need to kind of go over all of the elements on a page and make sure that they're linking to the places that you intend them to link. Overall, this is a great start, and a few simple tweaks to this is going to have your site be in a place that it's usable, right? Like you're always going to be adding to it, but it's like you could send this to someone, who might want to hire you for some of this work. Jumping here to Katera, so a different vibe, right? So introducing Katera, content creator, we know right off the bat that's what you do. A simple get in touch with some contact information, a form where you're located. Not much here on this home page. Sorry, laundry just got done. There's not much here on the homepage that shows that you're a content creator. It's introducing you, right? But there's nothing here that sort of backs that up. So if we hop here over to the about, we get a backstory, which is cool. But this is like a long, dense paragraph of text. And people don't really read a lot online. They scan for information. So my encouragement is twofold. One, all of your text needs to be left aligned, not center aligned. So it doesn't have this jagged starting point. Our eyes get fatigued as they wrap from line to line and don't have a consistent edge here. I would also encourage you to break this up into smaller chunks. I'm not saying you need to get rid of any of it. I'm saying that, break it up into smaller, 1 to 2 sentence statements and see if you can make this scannable, right? If I go to learn more, looks like it's taking me to your resume, right? But that's not intuitive to me, in as much as if you labeled it resume, I would expect to go to the resume. But now, I thought maybe it would be more like biographical, and question as to why am I going to a totally different environment? This is just text on a page. Why can't it be text on this page as well? Jumping over here to work, getting your photography coming in. So all of this is looking great. And kind of scrolling in, we've got your makeup. I like that you give a little service description, about this stuff. And so what I would recommend is here on the homepage where you talk about being a content creator, share some of your content right here, right up front. Instead of having all of this text on this about page, the way that your sister approached and did the short couple sentences and then the larger bulk of it on another page, maybe also take that same approach. Here where we go to this link, it looks like it's taking me to Instagram, but not to your profile itself. So I would definitely check the linking of that if you want that going. This is a really clean, beautiful template, right? One thing, also to note here on this about page or even on this work page, your name, the brand, who this site is about, the identity is gone. So your name probably should be somewhere up in this header so that it stays consistent with this navigation. Jumping here over to Derek's site. So it looks on brand for what I know you and your work to be. The logo that you have is super cool, but in this tiny little display, it's hard to see, right? So this needs to be bigger. so that we can actually read what this says. Work, prints, about, contact, and then we've got these different categories here. I'm going to click on Jeeps. It's going to open up into a larger kind of display of these images, which is great. Kind of coming in, and then just like these different galleries. Beautiful work. Really kind of a consistent theme that you have going on here. Curious, it's media, right? But it seems like all that we're really seeing here are still images, right? So right here we are seeing a bunch of photography, and it's great, right? Wondering, are you just mostly a photography business? And also, like, you have way more focus on vehicle and automotive stuff than you do on portraits and or nature. And I'm not saying that you need to pigeonhole yourself into a niche, right? But it seems as if your portfolio more so supports your efforts in this other area, right? As opposed to having just a couple of nature versus like a really beautiful whole catalog. And it might behoove you to specialize in automotive photography or automotive media that would make you a special, like a specialty media provider in that area. So prints, this is a page that's loading up, and I see just one image here. It's a place that I could like click and purchase this, but like it's kind of odd to me that there's just a single one. And if this is something you have as a vision for your site moving forward, I think that's totally cool, and a great way to make a little extra money. But until this is like built out a little bit more, it looks kind of like an unfinished page. So maybe build this out with a few options, prior to giving it its own page. We have this little about me, just some info, some place that we can follow you on Instagram. So here, this is kind of opening up this page. Definitely want to give you a follow so I can support you. But like also looking at your Instagram, right? Like you've specialized this quite a bit. So just kind of curious as to your thoughts on like, how does this all work as a path moving forward or as a potential business, right? And then contact. You don't have a ton of content on the site, and I think that your site would work well as a single one-pager, right? Where like instead of just having these tiny chunks of information on each page, you have kind of these like banner areas that have like a place for a contact, and then scroll a little banner area that has a place where you could buy a print, scroll a little about message, scroll your galleries. I think that would be a better interpretation and display of your content just based on what you currently have so far. But overall, this is a great start. Again, just one more thought is like with your branding. We talked about this a little bit in class today, making sure that it's consistent whether you're going this direction or the other. You're establishing yourself in this vein and in this market with this aesthetic and this vibe, right? So here, jumping over to Kevin's site next. So we've got some photography that's kind of scrolling in and out here. We've got a quote, places to connect online. I can see that these are all linked, to the places where we have social. One thing I think might behoove you from the start is we've got your name, but no real like tagline or no real identification of what you do. And also none of these pictures are really of you either. So it's kind of like a big question mark still on the homepage. And like your homepage should really answer so much. Who is the site about? What is the identity? What are they offering? What do they want you to know? But this, like, I don't know that you're a photographer, right? Or a media creative in any way. So I don't know, like, I don't have the context to know that maybe you took these photos, right? If I don't know that you do this type of work when I'm looking at this, like, I don't have any context to understand the collection of things that I'm seeing here, right? Under biography, and you're taking a chance that now, like, I'm going to go click on this, I'm going to read it, I'm going to find out that you are a freelancer in videography and photography. Oh, okay, so now the homepage makes sense, but you don't want to take that chance. My recommendation for you is to make this the homepage. That like then you can show 3 featured things that you absolutely want me to see. Your resume gives a good, background of what you've done and who you've done it for. Gallery is just more of examples, of the photography work that you've done and who you did it for. I'm going to click on one and see how it loads up. You talk about a caretaker with a student, but for who, right? Like let's say I just, let's just say I clicked on this one image. I don't know that this is Seco, right? Because I haven't gone through the whole thing, and you're not kind of sharing that a little bit more. So more detail here, more context to understand the things that I'm looking at. Reel. So these are some of your projects, demo cut reel 1 or demo reel cut 1. Like a couple of things here, opportunity for 1, a custom thumbnail, 2, a meaningful title, right? Demo reel cut 1 sounds like an assignment, not like what you would label this. So again, want you to be just like really thoughtful about the things that you're choosing to include in this space and how you wrap story and context. I need context to understand the content that you're sharing with me here on these pages. If we go to contact, a simple form, but no real call to action, right? There's nothing here that says hire me, even though that you said you were a freelancer, right? It's okay that you don't have all the answers to maybe these questions just yet, but all of you need to be asking, what is this site for, and how, like, if I'm going to create this, if I'm going to manage it, if I'm going to curate content into the shape of a media professional that looks like me, you have to ask, what is this site for? And then over the next back half of the MCBS program, build it in that direction, right? Let's jump here to, this is Adams, right? But I don't know anywhere that it's Adams because it doesn't say Adam anywhere. I know that it's Adams because I clicked on the link from his FSO profile. So there's a missed opportunity here for like a greater identification of you as the individual or as the brand, right? I know that you are heavily involved in the gaming culture, so maybe this is like your brand name online or your handle, your gaming handle, but like it could be lost, and maybe that's not what you want. You're taking a chance with that. So you say home shop videos about news. We get this picture up here. This one's cut off. This homepage doesn't tell us much of anything, right? And it's very vague and not offering any idea of who you are, what you do, or why we should care. And so like you're taking a chance that I am going to poke through all of these things and learn about that, right? Don't take that chance. Your homepage is your high value real estate area. On this page, I need clear navigation, clear identification of the brand, what you do and why, what and how you do, who do you do it for, and why we should care about it should be right here in this snapshot before I have to start to scroll it all. Going to shop. So like this is going to load up another page with potential products, right? But there's nothing here. So this is placeholder maybe for something else. Again, my recommendation is for you guys to not add pages like this until you have content to fill it. It just looks unfinished, right? Like, so here we see like a couple of like really large scale videos coming in. Looks like you do care about custom thumbnails, because you know YouTube, you know your audience, right? But there's no real like description or title or anything that lets me know, like let's say I'm super busy and only have like 1 second to like choose a video to play here. I would like to have a bit more, like I'm scrolling over these and I do see titles as I do that, but like no real context to choose which one of these to watch, right? So you should provide me enough information so that if I have to be choosy about your content, I can choose wisely, right? I'm going to go ahead and click one just to see. So this is going to load up a video, or at least I thought it was. Play video. I'm not sure what's happening here. There's something going on with this preview mode, which is okay, but just for you to know that I wasn't able to really see your intended functionality with that. So we've got about, and so here about full story, I make whatever I want, right? Like, I understand that this is kind of your brand, right? Like I get it, but who's going to pay you to do this, right? Like there comes a point where like you need to be asking yourself, how does this translate into me paying my bills one day? That I am learning a skill set here that is valuable, but like valuable to whom and for what? And that's something for you to be thinking about moving forward. With the news here, like this is all just like placeholder content. I guess I can expect at some point you'll have projects and things that you'll share here that shine a light on some of that, and it's a good start for all this, but certainly opportunities here to make a lot of this clearer and to really package and promote the value of you as a young creative. Next up, taking a look here at James's site. So J&G Creative, we have links to resume, work, skills, a little bit of an about me. So here I'm going to go to resume. This is going to load up just a bit of information about what you've done. I know that one of the things that points of feedback given to you in the previous resume review was to add some of the projects that you've been working on, both for Hall of Fame and Friday Blend, or some of the stuff in portfolio. If you guys don't have paid experience in the realm of media, you need to be certainly cataloging what this looks like as a media communications student. You don't have to say that it's unpaid work. You can just say projects, right? And so there'll be chances for you to add that stuff here. Under latest projects, we've got just some different things. It looks like some graphics, right? I'm clicking on them, but nothing's happening, right? So I don't really have a lot of info to understand what these are. James, I know you to be kind of a writer, based on what you've shared, but I don't see much of that here. Also, I know this month you've worked a lot on your message as to your why you create the things that you do and the spirit with which you want to infuse. I'd like to see, that as well, like in a spotlighted way. I see it kind of here where you say, I create to make people feel happiness and not feel alone. Like, maybe expand upon that a little bit. Like you've done the work of doing the thinking about this. So how can you share what you've come to learn? And then just a simple contact page. Again, the work here, you guys, is to think about how does this site work for me in the future, and then kind of continue to shape it in that direction. Last but not least, we're going to take a look at Ashley's site here. Now, as this was loading in, I could see that it's filled almost entirely with placeholder content, right? That this is, all of these links are still going to Wix locations, that it says Ashley, but it's got just placeholder content for all of these sections. It looks like a one-page scrolling, right? So like this is a great setup. I do see Ashley's background here and all of that, like the story kind of coming in. This looks like it, is a place to be able to connect with other places online. But this is all kind of fired up and ready to go, but without any actual customize or personal content. I think this is based on what you shared today in the port presentations about like moving into on-camera personality and vlogging. This would be a great site to help showcase some of that work. But as it is right now, obviously it's not representative of you at all, except for that one paragraph. So there's a lot of work to be done here to make this something you could send to somebody. So definitely spend some time doing that between now and the next portfolio class. So if you guys have any questions about this feedback and want some additional insight into the possibilities moving forward, please let me know. Otherwise, again, the expectation is a revision of this portfolio site prior to heading into Portfolio 4.